Are we live? Yes, I believe we are. All right. Where is my group? Here. Making sure I am in the correct group and not on my page. And here's hoping somebody actually join me live. That would be awesome, wouldn't it? No, I do not need to watch that on the big screen, but thank you so much for offering Facebook. Okay, with groups. Private practice success. Oh, 5% on my iPad battery. That's not gonna be helpful. Let's see. Yes, I'm live in the Private Practice Success Facebook group. So if you are joining me here, please say hi and hello in the comments so that I know who's here and who I am talking to. All right, say hi, say hello. We'll give it a couple of minutes, probably a couple of seconds really, because I'm impatient that way. And see if we've got a few of you that can actually hop on live and say hello. What's the time now? It's 7:15. I've just come back home from dropping off my 13-year-old at youth. So they go to youth, which is like a church thing, on a Friday night from 7 to 9. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna have a quick check-in with you guys here before I get stuck into some dinner. Hey Lindsay, how are you? How are things going with you? Hey Di, how is things in Perth? I hope things are running really well for you. All right, so we've got a couple of people here. That's good. Now we can get started. Gerda's not just talking to herself. Let me know how your week has been, any big wins that you've had, any celebrations that you've had, big or small, doesn't matter, they all count. They absolutely all count. It's a win for me live streaming here on a Friday night, which I don't normally do. But I actually had a lovely day. I was out at the day spa this morning. So I had a beautiful time there, came home and my hair was like full of oil and stuff from the massage. I had a shower, just put my wet hair up, and I had to attend a live online event. So I had to put on makeup, and I'm going, oh, I'm not gonna waste having some makeup on. I'm gonna live stream in the Facebook group. So here we are. Let me know how your day has been. All right, so Di said, my celebration is that I have another clinician who has accepted a position with me. That is fantastic. That is fantastic. That is such awesome news, right? I love that. So how many days a week is that person going to do, Di? And are you doing employees or contractors? What did you decide to go with? Let me know. Perf. Going to be taken over. All right, let me know. So I thought I'll check in with you guys as we are doing right now, but also give you a couple of just reminders of stuff that's happening, a couple of updates. If you're hopping on here and you've got any questions for me, please feel free to ask, right? I'm here, you have me. I'm happy to answer any questions that you do have. So just pop that in the comment section and I'll answer those. All right, so a couple of things that is happening. First and foremost, I do hope that you have seen my posts here in the group as well as on my public page on resource of the week, which is all about applying for awards. Di says 3 days a week, employee, permanent, part-time. Fabulous, great start, Di. I love it. I love it. Keep going. Keep going. I see we've got more people hopping on. Please say hi and hello in the comment section so I know that who is here with me, right? Who I'm talking to. Lindsay says we have had increased referrals this week after increased and planned marketing. Funny that, Lindsay. So excited to see that first and foremost you planned and then you implemented and now you are getting the results of it, right? And if you're getting your ideal clients, that would even be the cherry on top of the cake, right? So well done. Di says, was going to be 2 days a week, but I have so many inquiries. Yeah. And, you know, as a general rule of thumb, whenever I take on any new clinicians at our practice, we have a minimum 2 days that they need to commit. Our ideal is 3 days, right? The ideal number of days is 3. We will go as low as 2, but anything less than that, I just feel people aren't really committed fully to us as a practice, because they generally, generally, I'm generalizing, doing something else. And if they elsewhere for 3 or 4 days, then generally the greater commitment is there, because there's a greater time commitment. And I don't like to be the poor cousin that only gets the scraps of the person, or that's lowest on the priority. I don't like being low on a priority list, not my practice, right? So I make it a requirement. Minimum 2 days, ideally 3. Yeah. All right, that's awesome, guys. All right, so I do hope that you guys have checked out the resource of the week, which is me encouraging you to apply for awards. Okay, to apply for awards. Now, quite a number of you have downloaded that resource, which is amazing, but I truly want to encourage you to just step into that place of going, you know what, I'm not going to judge myself in terms of what does that mean for me actually to think that I'm good enough or my practice is good enough to actually win an award, right? Because that's not what it's about. It's not a narcissistic thing to nominate yourself in an awards, right? It is actually a really great experience. Even the whole process of applying, the whole process of stepping back and looking at the selection criteria and answering it, right? It gives you an opportunity to objectively reflect on your practice as a business. It allows you to reflect on what is, especially if you're applying for business awards, like let's say your local chamber of commerce, it allows you to see what do they regard as being really good business in terms of the selection criteria that they put out there, right? And have you been doing that in your practice? Or, have you just been doing the basic stuff because we don't get taught how to do business, right? Di says imposter syndrome sitting in big time. Di, is that with regards to thinking about applying for an award? But you know what? Whether it's for that or anything else for that matter, it's important to note the imposter syndrome and then ask yourself whether you're going to let that hold you back, yes or no. It's a simple one-word answer. Is it going to hold me back, yes or no? Yes? Okay, that's fine. Not going to judge that. Or is it going to be a no? And then you just park that imposter syndrome, or say that's your monkey on your back and doesn't matter what's happening, you're going to come with me, but we're going to do this anyway. Yes, applying for an award. Yeah, you just need to park it. Like I said, ask yourself, are you going to let it hold you back? And if it's hell no, then you just go, okay, you're probably going to be there. You're probably going to try and hold my hand. You're going to probably try and pull me back each step of the way, but I'm just going to stay focused on, no, you are not holding me back. I'm happy for you to travel this road with me, but you're going to get the one that's going to get tired because I'm going to keep going, right? That's just how I approach it. And, because it's a really great opportunity to assess yourself, assess your business compared to what business needs to be doing, right? And then if you are a finalist, there's so much leverage that you can get out of that, right? You're going to promote the heck out of that finalist status. And if you win, that's just, again, the cherry on top, right? It's just an amazing experience. I cannot tell you what an amazing day it was for me when we won our very first award. And it's not only that it was the first, because it was the Queensland Mental Health Awards. And this was back in 2015. And when I think back to that day, right, it is high up on my list of best days ever. It is up there, and this might sound sad, right? Don't feel sorry for me. I don't, but it is up there with getting married, having my 3 kids, The first day I walked into my master's, I can still remember the clothes I wore because it was such a road for me to get to master's, right? And just walking in there on that day was so surreal. I can remember everything about it like it was yesterday. And then winning the Queensland Mental Health Awards in 2015, that I was totally, unprepared for. I did not think that we were going to win. I did not have a speech prepared or anything. I was sitting in this room. There was at least 120, even probably close to 200. I don't know why I said randomly 120. I wanted to say 100 to 200 people in that room sitting. And when they called my name, I just couldn't believe it. I was there just soaking up this amazing feeling of being a finalist, soaking up this feeling of being in a room with the best of the best that Queensland has, the people, helpers every day that are doing this amazing work within the mental health sphere, right? And it was mostly NGOs. There was a lot of schools, also research departments from universities. Those were the guys that were there, right? And private companies, private practices don't win this type of stuff. When I look back at the previous winners over the previous years, it was mostly NGOs. People with funding that was doing this amazing stuff that were winning these awards. And then we won a little private practice in Loganholme, right? It's like, I think you got that wrong, but I'm coming to the stage. It was such a surreal experience, and it was really amazing. And I think it was probably because it was off the back of 3 really tough years. So I started working with my very first business coach in, Renee says, love this. Sometimes you need to let others see you shine. Yeah, thank you, Renee. In 2012, I started working with my first business coach, and the first year was so hard, emotionally painful, having to realize the mistakes that I've made, having to realize how little I actually knew about running a practice from a business perspective, and having to make changes with a team that was really resistant to change. And then the second year, still hard, a little bit better. And then the third year, it was, okay, I think I've got this. I think I know what I'm doing. And that was the year that we won that award. And it was just like a reward for all the hard work. And it was such confirmation of, what you were doing, that pain, Gerda, was worth it. That pain was worth it, and to be recognized by your industry is just an amazing experience, right? And I'll never forget that day. It was just awesome. But I've never applied for it again, right? Which a lot of people tell me is interesting. For example, in 2018, we won the Allied Health Awards for the adult group private practice. So private practice within all the allied health disciplines in Australia that sees adult clients. We were actually a finalist in the child and adolescent one as well. Didn't win that one, but won the one for the adult practice, which is my Loganholme practice, which is my trauma center. Applied for that, won in 2018, and again didn't apply the next year. Well, I was a judge. I could still apply, just couldn't judge the categories that I would apply for, but I didn't apply again. I'm a very funny person when it comes to stuff like that. It's like I go, okay, I got it, been there, done that, now somebody else can win it, right? I'm not greedy when it comes to award, but I want to, if I decide I'm going to apply for this award, I will apply until I win. I'm not satisfied until I win, right? That is my process. It's how I do life. It's how I do business. It's like I set myself a goal. Doesn't matter how long it takes. I'm gonna do this. And when it comes to awards, I'm gonna win that sucker, right? If I did not win the Queensland Mental Health Awards in 2015, I would still be applying for it every year until I win, right? And then I go, no, that's all done. There's one award that has really been eluding me, and that is for my Kapalaba practice, which is the Redland Chamber of Commerce, right? We've probably applied submitted or nominated, whatever's the word, at least 5 times. At least 5 times. The closest we won here came very close, and the reason why I know is because they give very specific feedback. You actually get like written feedback from the whole panel, and we were apparently tied for top position. They couldn't decide, and then there was one spelling mistake in our submission, so they gave it to the other party. The other party win. Good on them, right? But that means we're applying again this year, right? Until we win it. And for some reason, we never thought to apply to do the Logan Business Awards, because I was so committed to winning Capalaba that was just what my focus was every year. I didn't even think about the Logan Home Practice. And then last year I told Chelsea, I think it's time that we apply for the Logan Chamber of Commerce Business Awards. And guess what? We won. First year we applied. We won. Still haven't won flippin' Redland Chamber of Commerce, but we're going to be in it again this year. But that's what I do, right? I will decide on an award. I will go for it until I get it. And I use it as an opportunity to go, hey, what else? Where else do we need to brush up on? What is that stuff that in that selection criteria? Because that tells me where my business needs work, right? And I'm going to use it as an opportunity to learn something more and to do even better. That's how I approach it. So I do want to encourage you to, look at the business awards in your local community, to look at the Ally Health Awards, right? I would so love people within this community, within the private practice success community, to be taking out all those awards come next year. I think the awards is in March next year. I would love for as many of you to win those awards. I want to celebrate it with you. So please be brave. Put in your applications. Don't say, oh, I'll give it myself another year, or I'll wait another year. If you don't get in, or if you're a finalist and you don't win, it is all a learning. Don't wait another year. Have the lesson now. Have the lesson now in terms of those selection criteria. What does it tell you? And what are you learning from it? And by the way, I'm not affiliated with those awards at all. I must sound like I'm encouraging you to, give them business. Not that you pay for it. I am here telling you to do it for your own good, for your own benefit, right? Because it's a learning process. And then if you actually become a finalist and even a winner, then the branding that comes of that is worth its weight in gold. So that's why I want you to do that. All right, who else is here, guys? Other than Di, Lindsay, and Renee, if you are here, please say hi and hello in the comments so that I know who's here with me. So that's the first thing that I do want to encourage you to do. All right, then secondly, the second thing that is happening next week, Tuesday, the lovely Ash Davison from Halo Practice Management is running a training on sales. So, don't fall off your chair. Hey, Stacey, don't fall off your chair. Allied Health Sales, right? Taking you and your team from yuck to yay when it comes to selling. And whether you want to believe it or not, you sell in your practice each and every day. Each and every day, you are engaging in a sales conversation, both you as a clinician, but most importantly, your administrative team, right? So it's better to just get it right and do it well and do it in a way that you are respectful of the people that we serve. So important. And Ashley's going to take you through all of that stuff, right? She's absolutely amazing at it. So please do hop on over, not now when I'm done here, to the Halo Practice Management Facebook page and check out the details. You will probably also find it on the Halo website. Your practice manager or your senior reception or just general reception really should be in that training. If you can do it together, even better. If it's too short notice and you are busy, register for it. You will get a recording, and I would suggest that you use this as part of your team training, right? You can take the recording and you can actually sit in a team meeting with your train them on this, right? That's why we're doing this. And you can use it ongoing. Whenever you onboard a new team member, you can make this recording part of your onboarding package, part of the orientation and induction process, right? Don't reinvent the wheel. You're going to have it recorded. You're going to have like a handout. Make use of it. You need to be clever, right? You need to be efficient. So please do check that out. Di says, our local community awards business require you to pay for your nomination. Well, depends on how much it is, right? But it might be worth it. I mean, when we go to the Capalaba one, you need to pay for the awards night, which is normally like $100 at very least. But I pay for it. You get a 3-course meal. You get champers. They take your photos. You're like a celebrity when you walk in and they've got that screen where you stand. And it's just a fun night out. I just love it. Renee said this is a great lens shift. Thank you. My pleasure, Renee. All right. So that was the second thing that's going on. And then the third one, and Stacey, you are all over it because you are already in, is the management team trifecta training that's happening in, is it 2 weeks from today? I should probably check my diary. It's on a Friday, the 11th of September at 11:30. That's going to be a very comprehensive online workshop via Zoom. Again, it will be recorded where I'm basically going to talk you guys through how I started my first management team, right? I've had a management team for probably at least 5 years. So I know a thing or two. I'm glad you're excited, Stacey. And I've got some great news for you. Hang on. I'm going to tell you now, right? Stuff that you don't know yet that you're getting as part of it. For quite a number of years. So I know what I'm doing, and it's gone through various forms. It has looked different over the years based on where my practice was at, right? And of course, currently I've got like how many? I've got Charles, Carmen, that's replayed Ash, Adam, Abby, and Steph. So I've got 5 people really in my management team, like 4 really, because Abby's more my PA, but 4 back at the practice, back in Brisbane, though Abby's in Brisbane as well, running the practice side of things. And we've got 2 practices, and all 4 of them operate across both practices, right? And I'm going to share all of that stuff with you, share with you their job descriptions and all of those things. But an interesting point, I was thinking about it earlier today, and I was thinking about when I started my management team. So as I said, I've had them for 5 years, but then the penny dropped actually when I really think about it, right? The first manager that I hired in my practice was after 1 year in private practice. And I was still a solo practitioner at the time. How interesting is that? So the very first person I hired 2 people. Sometimes I can't really remember. I'm not good with dates and stuff, right? I can remember details about my clients and their dogs and their kids, but dates is like, I was never good in history because dates just does my head in. I can't remember, but they were very close. Whether I hired my first psychologist, but I think I hired Lee first. Lee was my first, I'm pretty sure it was Lee who was my first admin type person that I hired, right? And her role description, my very first admin hire was not receptionist, was not admin officer or admin support. It was practice manager. So if you think about it, I really hired my first person into my management team, although at that time it was just me and her, when I was still solo, I was still a solo practitioner. And it's because I knew I needed admin. I was just sick of spending Friday nights at the practice, wanting to really finish off my working week so I can go and have a weekend with my family. doing letters and following up phone calls and doing all that paperwork, right? I was just over it. So I knew I needed an admin person. I also knew I was going to be starting to take on clinicians, and I needed somebody to support them as well, because that has always been my vision, to have that type of practice where the clinicians are supported in that way. But I wanted somebody that was going to be more than just reception, right? I knew that if I was going to do this, I'm going to need more help than that. So I hired her, and her role name and description was practice manager. And I was very upfront and said, you're going to help me with my books, reconciliation. You're going to help me with my marketing. You're going to be calling GPs and doing all of that type of stuff, right? This is the practice manager role. But yes, you're going to do that from sitting at the front desk, greeting clients, answering the phone, booking in clients, looking after the clinicians. So her job was full-time, as a reception, but also the practice manager. It was 2-in-1. And I guess what stands out is the fact that, and this is the beauty of being in small business, that you can do things your way, right? There really is no wrong or right way. You just need to follow the law, the national employment standards. You need to follow the award stuff. You need to give your people better than the award, never less, right? That's illegal. You need to follow the moral, legal, ethical stuff. But other than that, the beauty of being in your own private practice, the beauty of being the boss, is you can set up the roles any way you like, right? Depending on where your practice is at, and depending, very importantly, at where you are working towards having your practice in the next 6 to 12 months, right? So I guess my point here is this as well, that you might have heard me talk about management team training. This is not only for big group private practices, right? You might be where I was. But as long as you have that vision that you want to build a practice that is growing, that you're going to build a practice that's going to scale, and that you want to make sure that you are not the bottleneck, because that is what happens, right? You become the bottleneck at your practice. And very often and I believe this for a very long time, I believe that I'm the most important person in my practice because I've got all the answers. It's all up in here, right? And then you start putting in your policies and your processes and your manuals and stuff, but you still think you're the most important person. And then if you're a control freak, oh my goodness, that's even worse, right? And if you're a bit of a perfectionistic control freak, well, then there's I don't know what to say. It's that's really hard, because you then become a bottleneck. You want to check everything. You want to approve everything. You want to okay everything. And then you make 20,000 changes to it, right? Because it has to be perfect, and you're a control freak. You become a freaking bottleneck. Hey, Tez, how are you? I'm on a roll. So you become a bottleneck within your practice, right? And the problem is that if you are the bottleneck, it holds your practice back. You think you're doing the right thing, right? By being so controlling of it, by controlling the narrative, by controlling, and very often, let's be honest, it's about reputation, right? Reputation is about being so scared when other people come on board. How are their behavior, the outcomes they're going to get, if they're clinician, the outcomes of their clients, right? Or the way they're going to talk to clients, if they're the receptionist, how are they going to impact my reputation that I worked so hard at for X amount of years before deciding to take this leap into expanding, taking on new team members, right? And that is a very difficult hurdle for a lot of people to overcome, which means you need to let go of the fear that somebody is gonna harm your reputation. It means that you need to start trusting that you're doing your utmost to make a good hiring decision. And you're going to get those wrong every now and then. Just be prepared for that. But then also trusting that when that happens and you get it wrong, that you're going to be able to deal with that situation, that you're going to be able to remedy that situation, to learn to trust that that reputation that you have built up, even if somebody stuffs up really badly, that reputation is so strong that your doctors, your referring GPs are going to understand, maybe clients are going to understand, because you've done the hard yards, right? The one thing you need to realize is, unless you do something really freaking bad that's gonna lead to being deregistered, your reputation could probably withstand it, right? Our reputation is not that fragile. Maybe if you're very new, it's going to be more fragile. But if you've got some runs on the board and you've been around at least 12 months and you're stepping out and you want to hire other people, you know, you need to start trusting in your reputation. You need to start trusting in the relationships that you have built with especially your referrer community, right? But that means that you need to build those relationships. If you don't do that, well, that's going to land you in trouble, right? So I guess my point that I'm making is that, and you know, I like to go off on these tangents, excuse me, but I hope it makes sense, right? Because all of those things, can you see how many stuff actually plays a role in our minds, in the decisions that we make, a lot of times unconsciously, that we don't even know it, right? And a lot of times, because of all those things, we are so used to being this gatekeeper, to being the bottleneck really within our practice when it comes to decision making, that we just stuck there. We don't know that it can be any different. And again, I was there. I can talk to you about these things because I've been freaking there, right? Been through all of this. And it is so, so freeing not being that bottleneck anymore. The pressure that it takes off you is just amazing. So I do want to encourage you, you know, if you know that your intention is to grow, if you want to grow in a good way where you're not going to be the bottleneck, then do consider coming along and doing the management trifecta training on Friday, the 11th of September. And Stacey, are you still here? have you hung around? So I think we have 5 people already registered. Stacey, Kate from Brizzy, Michelle from Melbourne, from Bloomchild. Who else? Naomi registered, and Natalie from the Gold Coast. You guys have all registered. And of course, you get all those job descriptions, right? And then this morning, I get an email in my inbox from my principal psychologist saying, "Hey Gerda, Chelsea here. This is here with my July 2020 report." And I went, I should probably give the guys that template, right? So I haven't said it as yet, so you guys are the first to hear. So if you do the management team training, you'll get the whole workshop, right, with the extensive Q&A at the end. You'll get, I think, was it 4 job descriptions for the management team that I have currently. And I'm going to give you a template report. That is the monthly report that my fabulous practice principal Chelsea sends me every month, right? So I just received today the whole report on the month of July. And I think it's around about 8 pages normally. And it's basically where she reports back on key performance indicators, you know, key stuff that we are looking at the practice. And I'm going to give it to you exactly as it is for you to use. So if you are in need of hiring a practice principal, potentially you could get them to do a report like that. You could even adjust that for a practice manager, right? And the reason why we have that report is I'm 6.5 hours away from Brisbane. So I'm not there on a day-to-day basis. My involvement with the practice is basically hopping on a Zoom call with Chelsea every Monday at 1:30 until 2:30 when I need to rush to go to school pickup. Just like 1 hour a week that I get to spend with her, and I'm mostly, you know, having that meeting in a mentoring and coaching capacity. I basically treat her as I treat all my clients that I work with, my private practice success clients that I mentor and coach. I treat her exactly the same way, as if I'm not even the owner of that practice, right? But it works. And then she sends me this report at the end of the month, really letting me know all those other details, which is really awesome because I get to see the snapshot of what is happening in the business, which then also informs my mentoring and coaching and my input to her as we continue. So I do think we've got an amazing system. And I'm so looking forward to sharing it with all of you guys. I mean, if you are registered, you've got any specific questions for the training that you want me to answer, please feel free to email it to me at gerda@private-practice-success.com. lindsay.com, and I will make sure that I answer all of those for you. So I will put a link to that training in the comments as well. Would join me. Yes, that's the update that I wanted to give you. What else? Nope, I think that is the quick update. It's all about what's hot and happening at the moment in the world of private practice success. Hey Ashley, I've just been telling the guys earlier on about your amazing training that they cannot miss next week Tuesday. Hey young man. Yeah?
Never mind.
What?
Speak to you later.
Okay, I'll be there soon. It's my 10-year-old Ethan.
9-year-old.
Oh, nine, almost 10. Parent fail, don't know his age. Yes, I've just been telling them about how it's a must for them to be there. So yes, I better go and attend to my child. Thank you so much for those of you that has joined me live. It was really exciting just touching base with you. By the way, Ashley, I did tell the guys to check out the Halo Facebook page, but maybe seeing that you're here, I'll delegate this to you and ask you to pop in the link to the website with the information on the training. So if, just to make it easy for the guys, if they want to sign up, to just get it right there, right? So they don't have to go looking, because otherwise they'll have to look on the Facebook page and then find the link on the post. So we'll just pop in the link right here. And I've been telling them all to, use it as part of their admin team training, because it's just so awesome, the stuff that's in there, because I got to see the PDF that the workshop is based upon. So I have inside information. So do not miss that. It is my pleasure, Lindsay. Thank you so much, everybody. Have an amazing rest of your Friday night and weekend. Make sure to get some time out. We're living in very hectic times, very emotionally challenging times. Thanks, Ash. So have some time out, all right? And I'll speak to you soon. And remember, as always, all you need to do is say yes to your very own ultimate level 5 private practice. Bye for now.